This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun. No.
Y'all,
Just
this
stop.
is a sham. Welcome to DBL. It's Friday, October 15th. I'm Jeff here with my friends, Erica and Al. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
We look fantastic.
Yeah, we do.
Kelly's very excited over there. Too bad you're not on camera. All right, let's
She's
get going.
over there dancing for Friday. That's
I
all
like
right.
it. She's still dancing. So Adele, oh, we got a little shot. There we go, Kelly. It's Friday up in here.
The Friday dance.
Get to it.
All right, here we go. Adele is finally saying hello again. So get this. It's been. Was that the wrong song, or was I doing Lionel Richie?
No. It was great. It was great.
I might have hit a Lionel Richie note in there. All right, this is a long story. We got to get this.
Okay.
It's been 6 years since we've heard new music from her. She dropped the song at midnight. But before we get into it, let's just take another listen, okay? Because it was very confusing.
You can't deny how hard I've tried. I changed who I was to put you both first, but now I give up.
All right, on the real, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, very good. I love Adele. I absolutely love
Did
Adele.
you miss her?
I was that girl that got the album, like I got the actual record, her last album, and played it so much that my neighbors referred to me as the Adele girl because I would play it like morning, noon, and night every day. And it just really, I mean, she just has this ability to really connect with a very broad audience where you feel like she's talking to me. You know, that's what you want as an artist.
Absolutely. You know, and just like she is really running counter to what the culture is now, where it's like, oh, somebody came out with an album, I'll spend $2.99 to get the 3 songs that I want, and I'll keep it moving. I think a lot of people are putting Adele in the you have to, by default, buy the album. Because it's a story from beginning to end about how a relationship starts and ends. And I think if you just kind of cherry picked, you would kind of miss the whole message. So that's a big compliment to say you got to get the album.
And especially from Al Jackson.
That's right. Get that album.
So
man.
to your point, Al, Adele has openly said this album is about her divorce from her ex-husband, Simon. So the couple separated back in 2016, if you remember. They officially divorced in March of this year, and the couple does share a 9-year-old son together. Adele says this album will explain her divorce to their son, telling British Vogue that, quote, I just felt like I wanted to explain to him through this record when he's in his 20s or 30s who I am and why I voluntarily chose to dismantle his entire life in the pursuit of my own happiness.
Just show him that picture.
That's saying
Her
a
dad
lot.
drunk on the couch. This was us having to get your dad after every party. He thought, we just got here.
You don't know that
Yes, we do.
drunk.
So
Yeah, he looked like he'd had a few.
You can't see that. Anyways.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was way off.
All right, anyway.
It's like he's ready for the LSATs. Stop it.
That single already had more than 28 million views. We're going back to that. We're going back. Unless you want to go back to the husband.
It was 23 just not too long ago. Wow.
I mean, at the time of this taping, it's probably going to be a lot more, right? But I don't know if I want to get in on the husband.
There's no point in getting.
Well,
it's not about.
Let's get into what Adele said, because it was kind of moving, saying like I chose to dismantle your life for the pursuit of my own happiness.
Right.
That kind of like
it was a
choked me
decision
up a
I had to
little bit, right?
make. Yeah.
If Adele's what, 33 years old? So she had her son at 24. I remember my dad calling me, who doesn't call me that often to give me like profound advice or anything like that. But when I was really going through it and I decided to file for divorce, he's like, Erica, sometimes what you want at 21 isn't what you want at 31, and that's okay. And I needed to hear that. Like, I needed to be released from that because I felt like I had, you know, I'm honoring my vows. There's the expectation. There was all these people who were like counting on me to be the one to do X, Y, and Z when I could no longer count on myself because I knew what I was going through was not something I was going to get through in the long run. So when you are in a position like that and you can see kind of the forest from the trees, even if there's like just a glimmer of hope to look at a person and be like, hey, we had a really great run and I wish you the best and I hope you wish the best for me, but but we are not going to be great together in the long run. That's a hard thing to do, especially when you're not like hating someone.
And especially when you have kids, you know, because
Right.
Erica, like you said, it's easier when you hate the person, like, oh yeah, we're done here. But when it's just like, it's not great, you start to say, well, we can survive, but you know, what kind of relationship do I want to show to my children? No, they're going to look to us. So this is how they want their partner to treat them. Do they still open doors? Do they still affectionate? Do they still touch their hand, touch the small of their back when they're cooking in the kitchen? The little things that kids pick up. It's so important. So when you make that decision to sever a relationship, it's almost so that they can see you with your ideal partner and kind of mimic that. But it's tough at the time.
I think it's big of her to say that.
Yeah.
It's a very moving statement. All right. We might see Madonna as a free spirit, but her daughter is saying that's not true. Speaking of kids and how they see their parents, Al, in a new interview, her daughter Lourdes says Madonna is a strict parent who runs a tight ship. She says her mom is a, quote, control freak and controlled her whole life. She went on to say that she found her independence by paying for her own college tuition and apartment and said, we don't get any handouts in my family. She says Madonna was very insistent on getting a career that wasn't based on looks. So are we surprised about this, or is this just a mom who happens to be Madonna being a mother?
I think it's a mom who happens to be Madonna being a mother. I was a person that I had to leave at 18. Like I had to go because my parents, I was also the oldest daughter, and I was under a far stricter situation than any of my siblings, let me tell you. So I had to leave. I paid my own rent. I did all of those things because I needed to figure out who I was as a person. So I can understand, especially for someone who has such a famous mother, wanting to get her own identity and also be independent in her own right.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, you say famous mother, but also famous mother from a certain time period. If you kind of look at the generations, we saw the hippies, that people that were raised by hippies, air quotes, then become Reagan Republicans and suburbanites. Whatever your parents did, you kind of almost rebel from that.
Yeah.
And I think that Madonna lived a crazy life in the 80s. Everything is everywhere, Vice, new, you know, everything is happening to her. And I think her natural intuition was to prevent her daughter from having to have that constant influx of possibly life-altering decisions every second of the day. So she's like, you're gonna go to this small college, you're gonna get a nice little apartment over here, we're not gonna have people taking pictures of you and exploiting you, and you're gonna live a normal life, because I did the other way, and if it was so great, she would be pushing her towards that, but she's not.
Right, and it seems like more celebrity parents are saying, like, listen, they can make up their own mind, me included, not that I'm a celebrity, but for my kids, like, if you want to be in this industry, when you're 18, you could decide, right? But I'm not going to push you in that as a child, and I think that's what Madonna's doing ultimately, even though she's older. All right, I want to get this last story in because it's about my boy. Larry David is recalling the time he showed up at Jimmy Kimmel's dinner party a week early. The two laughed about the mishap on Jimmy's show this week. Let's take a look.
You wrote, I'm outside, can't get in, Larry. And I wrote, it's next Monday. I am at a funeral. Sorry, pal. And your response to me being at a funeral is holy ha ha ha.
But I thought that you had played a practical joke on me. That it was a prank. I thought I was getting punked.
So have you guys ever showed up to a party then got the wrong date?
No, but I do have this habit of going to the wrong funeral home every time. Like, you would think as the daughter of a funeral director, I would know that there could be more than one chapel, but this is the third time in 3 years that I've shown up to the wrong funeral home.
Wow.
Every time.
That beats my story. When I was starting my comedy career, I was in Miami and I was flying out to a gig, and I was college gig, so I was in a hurry. And you know, I put my ticket down. I was like, I can't find this anywhere on the monitor. Like, what's going on? I paid for the ticket. It's this day. And she was like, yeah, that's in Fort Lauderdale. You're in Miami. I was flying out of the wrong city. And so I was just like, I was so embarrassed that the woman just put me on a flight. She was like, I can't even have you drive. You need to just, it was so embarrassing for her that I did that. She was like, we got space on the flight. Just take this one and start to check to see where you're flying out of. Those cities' names, they mean something.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Coming up on DBL, fashion expert Lawrence Zarian is here to help us look our best. He tells us the pieces everyone needs in their closet this fall. And is Nicki Minaj being silenced by Instagram? Don't miss what Erica's watching. Next.
Go easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel.
Closed captioning provided by
As a DJ, I know all about customization. That's why I love Liberty Mutual. They
Coming out of the going to this break, I'm like, this seems like an album I need to be in my room just crying the entire
But then it's like,
crying my way through it.
is that what you want on a Friday?
Well, it's not today, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Sometimes it just, hits you. And then Jeff was asking if this is something that's gonna tell like a full story, and yes, that's what the anticipation is, that it's gonna be like a full arc.
Right, so if you listen to 10 songs, whatever it may be, it plays out almost like a movie, but in song.
And you have to listen in order.
I wonder if your record label would tell you to steer clear of that, because they'd be like, oh, well, people aren't going to listen anyway.
But it's a cool concept.
It's a really
People
cool
are
concept.
going to listen. The people, trust me. I haven't done that for a very long time, like go through the entire record multiple times in order. But yeah, Adele was definitely like that. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, Jagged Little Pill.
Alanis Morissette, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, even the soundtrack to Waiting to Exhale. What was one that you took the whole tour?
Oh, I did that with Biggie Smalls' first album, Ready to Die, which I realized was, the album starts with an intro of him being born, and then it ends with his passing, like with the album, but it tells the story of just like him. If you look, it's weird, but that's one of the albums that really made me start looking at albums. Like he's got like one of the first songs is like Give Me the Loot, and it's about him being a stick-up kid, and then a couple albums later it's about him meeting Puffy and making these decisions not to be a street guy, and then he's famous, but then he's still got these problems, and it's an entire story arc of somebody's life in an album form. But I wonder if people have the patience for that now, and not like to be like, you kids don't listen, but it's like, I mean, I'll just usually get one or two. I don't listen to every album, so I'm guilty of that too. So I don't know.
I think to listen to listen to it once all the way through. That's gonna be one of those people. Welcome back to DBL. Two rappers are battling cancel culture, and an 80s sitcom is making a comeback and landing on my watch list. And this week's What Erica's Watching. First, I've been watching my social media feed closely to see if I'm getting posts from Nicki Minaj. Now, some fans are saying they are no longer getting updates from the rapper after a controversial post about her vaccination status. Here's what she's saying about that.
I think I've been shadow banned on a couple social media outlets because of my comments about the.
Well, if you ask me, Nicki seems unbothered, probably because her platform as an artist is bigger than social media. But that being said, the Queen seems to have learned her lesson, so hopefully she'll be released from social media jail soon, because we're never a fan of social media jail. Now next, Too Short is also doing some damage control about a social media interview from last year. Here's what he said that's serving up some major side-eye.
Mixed heritage women have always been my favorite. Like, I don't think I've ever fallen in love with a woman that wasn't mixed.
Really?
And the debate did that to me.
Really?
Now, Too Short is sorry for his colorist commentary. He says he didn't mean to offend anyone. Now, as a black woman and I guess a quasi-fan of his music, here's what I have to say, because I watched this interview, okay? And a lot of y'all came for Saweetie, who was just really put in a very uncomfortable situation. She is not a colorist, but as for Too Short, he may be. I don't know, he may be. And finally, for all you 80s sitcom lovers, Head of the Class is making a comeback on HBO Max November 4th. Robin Givens is reprising her role as Darlene, who's now a mom. Take a look at how amazing she looks.
Who's the girl who thinks she's good enough for my handsome baby?
Dating is old school, all right? I just want to do something casual that also says, I'm very interested in kissing you.
Better be only kissing. As we know, kissing is a sexual gateway drug.
Mom, I'm begging you.
I'm gone.
Can you believe it's been 35 years since the show first hit the airwaves? Robin's black, does not crack, Too Short, you're missing out. I'll keep sharing more to watch, and you can too. Just use the hashtag DBL Erica Watch. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Your insurance marketplace, Health Markets.
Here's the post. It says, today I learned the Red Cross sells your donated blood to hospitals for $150, and then the hospital charges you thousands for a blood transfusion. Is this true? To find out, we went to the Red Cross, standard transfusion costs from several area hospitals, and Dr. G. Bai, an accounting professor from the Johns Hopkins University Carey Business School. Much of this tweet is true, but it lacks important context. Let me explain. The Red Cross said in a statement, yes, it charges hospitals for blood, but on a cost recovery basis. In a statement, the Red Cross outlined some of those costs. From staffing to testing to equipment to advertising to the storage of blood, it all costs money. But even that fee doesn't cover all the costs of their operation. It only covers about 98.7% of it, according to Red Cross. Now, as far as the cost to a patient for a transfusion, well, that costs money too. Our expert, Dr. G. Bai, says hospitals have expenses. It has to cover the cost of the blood, the pay for the staff to administer it, and a host of other costs associated with getting blood into your veins.
So I would say if the hospital charge the same amount as how much they pay for the blood, they're going to go bankrupt.
So what does a transfusion run in our area? According to the latest cost charts, MedStar charges around $1,300, George Washington around $1,500, and Inova Alexandria around $1,000.
However, there are instances that hospitals charge unreasonably high price for the blood as well as other procedures in order to make abnormally high profit.
So while that may be the cost of a transfusion in our area, across the country, it's a different story. Adventist Health in Glendale, California charges $5,500 for a blood transfusion. So yes, the claim in this tweet about the costs of blood and transfusion.
Welcome back to DBL. He's the man who celebs turn to when it comes to fashion. Earlier, we sat down with our friend, lifestyle expert and designer, Lawrence Zarian. He shared his take on the must-haves for this fall.
Welcome to the show, our friend. We miss you, lifestyle expert and designer, Lawrence Zarian. Yes!
Hi, guys. And I'm telling you this right now, Uncle Bert, LZ is coming home. The next time I'm on this show, I'm sitting at that desk with you guys.
Yes, you are.
We can't
Okay,
wait.
so LZ, I'm going to call you LZ too. I know that's your and Bert's like language between the two, but you are a friend of the show. Let's get to fashion because you know fashion more than anyone. How do we get our closet ready for fall? Because it just started to get cold here in Denver.
Okay, first of all, for the last 2 years, the choices we make with our wardrobes have changed. So everybody doesn't know what to do. So I say right now, carve out some time, a day or a weekend or whatever you have, and empty your closet. Take everything out of your wardrobe and start from scratch. That's number one. Number two, go through everything. Go through everything, and if it's torn, if it's ripped, if it has stains, if it stinks, either cut it up into little dust cloths or get rid of it. Once you've done all of that, then start putting everything into specific piles or categories. So you have choices. You can put them together by season. You can put things together by color Or what I like to do is put all my jeans together, put all my dress shirts together, put all my suits together, because then you know where your real estate is. And then here's the most important thing. If it's things in your wardrobe, ladies, that you're not wearing, you've worn to death, what if you create a girls' night out? So take all these pieces that you don't wear anymore and then create the ultimate fashion show at your home. You have your stuff, the girlfriends bring all their stuff, and then together you do the perfect clothing swap. What you think you've worn to death, a girlfriend might think, oh my gosh, I can't wait to style that. Then you start doing a fashion show with each other, wearing each other's clothes, and A, bring lots of wine, B, have some fun, crank the music, and instead of throwing things away and filling up the landfills, what used to be you might think is outdated in your wardrobe, a girlfriend might look at and think, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get my style on in that. It's fun, you're saving money, and it's the perfect girls' night out.
I love that, but you make sure you get that right group of girlfriends, because that could go from swap to swipe real quick, Lawrence, and we all know it. We all know it. So what are the items that everyone needs to have in their closet right now?
That is so funny. I love that more than anything in the world. That is the best. And also, let me just say one more thing real quickly. Ladies tend to buy things for their wardrobe as incentive to lose weight. Like if you're a size 10, they buy a size 8 or 6 to make them feel like they need to lose weight. Get rid of all that stuff, because every time you have that stuff in your wardrobe, you're telling yourself what you are not. And that personally is destroying your spirit and your ego. Only have pieces in your wardrobe that make you feel beautiful. And when it comes to must-haves, for women, always a 2-piece black suit, always, no matter what season. A dark rinse pair of jeans that fit. The dark rinse, you can dress up, you can dress down. A white t-shirt, always key. A crisp white dress shirt, always important. And for women, always that little black dress. Those are some wardrobe essentials that every woman needs, and a classic black and nude pair of pumps.
Ooh. Just write that down, everybody. All right, Lawrence, it's getting cold out. I'm a shivering. What about cardigans? Talk to me. Your clothing line has some amazing options, but what is your absolute favorite if you had to name any?
Okay, let me just tell you this. It is an anniversary. This is the 1-year anniversary of the official launch of my CAXLZ Connected Apparel collection. Thank you. And everybody goes nuts. And the number one piece that every woman loved is called the Bianca cardigan.
Bianca.
And just so you know, I named every piece of my collection after women that are strong and powerful that have influenced my life. So the Bianca cardigan I designed in black. But then to elevate it to the next level, as you saw, I designed it in leopard print and snakeskin. Yes. Leopard print and snakeskin are classic styles and pieces that you'll always add to elevate your wardrobe. Each cardigan is only $45. It's machine washable, and the best part, ladies, it has pockets.
Yes.
You're welcome.
LZ, we love you. You always make sense out of fashion. In fact, I feel energized to go clean out my closet. So DBL Nation, now that you've seen the classics to elevate your wardrobe, head over to connectedapparel.com, and don't forget, for your daily style updates, follow Lawrence Arian on Instagram. You'll be happy you did. Trust us. Thank you. We hope to see you soon, Lawrence.
Love you guys. I'll see you very, very soon.
Yeah. Bye. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Are you on Medicaid or Medicare?
In 2019, women were 72% more likely to be injured in a car crash than men, and 17% more likely to die. A viral Instagram post with nearly 9,000 likes claims women are particularly vulnerable in crashes because safety tests are designed for a man's body. So let's verify. Do safety agencies only use male crash dummies to test collisions? Our sources are the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, and Humanetics, the largest manufacturer of crash test dummies. The first dummies were designed in the 1970s based on what was then the average male adult, and helped drivers, insurers, and manufacturers understand how to make crashes more survivable.
In some research that we've done, we know that some of those studies from the past haven't always fully separated the physiological differences between men and women from other differences in men and women's crashes that can affect outcomes.
Eventually, an entire dummy family was developed, and in 2003, female dummies were incorporated into some tests. So it's false that safety agencies only use male crash dummies to test collisions. However, Humanetic says the use of female crash dummies isn't as widespread or accurate as it should be. For example, the male dummy is 5'9" and 171 pounds, representing the median American man. But the female dummy is 4'11" and 108 pounds, representing just 5% of American women. There's also an even smaller female dummy that weighs in at 97 pounds. More research is needed to determine if that's why women are more likely to suffer injuries to their legs and feet that aren't life-threatening. The IIHS also points out there are other differences that factor into what happens to women during a crash.
Things like the types of vehicles that they drive, where they sit in the car, the types of crashes they get in, and all of those things can affect injury risk.
With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Before we go, we want to give a big DBL shout out to Lance Bass and his husband Michael. The former NSYNC band member is now a dad.
Yes.
He posted the announcement to Instagram, sharing the names of his twins with his fans, Violet Betty and Alexander James. The babies were carried by surrogate, of course. Congrats to my friend and new family. So
Those babies don't know how good they have it.
Oh, man, they're great dads. We'll see you guys on Monday.